So far, Season 4 Riverdale's had some, ups and downs here and there, despite nothing actually happening. But all the same, before moving on to the second half of the season and getting more adventures with Archie and his quest for the 7th ab or whatever, let's take a slight detour for a second here and catch up with Jughead. Basically, just to summarize here, there was this ice storm thing that covered all of Riverdale, and Jughead and Betty were hanging out at Jughead's new school, all alone, you know what I'm saying?
I missed you.
I missed you too.
But anyway, thanks to the aforementioned ice storm, they're locked inside with nowhere to go. And of course, this being Riverdale, they snoop around and ultimately find out that Jughead's teacher, Mr. Chipping, and the fake author guy from before, both of them are part of some kind of secret society of super nerds.
Got these yearbook photos I printed out of Mr. DuPont and Chipping. These are decades apart. You notice anything?
Is that the same tie pin?
Yes. Apparently, that is the mark of Quill and Skull. It's one of Stonewall's oldest secret societies.
Now, Jughead tries to get his teacher to help him uncover the truth about his grandfather and all that, but what we end up finding out over the course of the episode is that Jughead's teacher was doing the old devil's tango with this girl from Jughead's class, and she was gonna go public about the whole thing. But then, one day, Mr. Chipping's class is a little different than usual.
As you know, today we will be discussing Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, about the loss of a man's moral compass.
Mr. Chipping?
I'm sorry, Jughead.
Wow. Huh. But anyway, so during his investigation into this secret club or whatever, he finds out that every previous member was in a plane crash or a car accident or something suspicious. And the only ones left alive are this fake author guy who's now Jughead's new teacher because this school literally only has one class, and Jughead's grandfather. But anyway, so later on after all this, the new teacher author dude is having a writing contest to pick the new ghostwriter for the famous book series thing that we've been talking about this whole time, and I bet you'll never guess who wins.
Tomorrow, there would be another mystery. But tonight, their only concern was dinner.
Outstanding, Mr. Jones. I believe the Baxter brothers has found their newest ghostwriter.
Wait, I won the contract?
That is correct. Your contract, Mr. Jones.
And because of this, now Jughead really wants to find his grandfather so he can hopefully get to the bottom of this whole situation. So he gets some help from Charles and his FBI magic, and turns out the grandfather has been living by himself in a trailer out in the forest in the middle of nowhere this whole time. And so they get to talking, and we finally learn the truth.
I was burning out at Stonewall, so the only thing I had to show for it all was this one Baxter Brothers story. I didn't know what to do with it. Francis said he did. He offered to buy it from me.
How much?
$5,000.
$5,000.
So yeah, turns out Jughead's grandfather did come up with the idea and wrote the first book, but he sold the copyright to that other guy 60 years ago or whatever. So yeah, turns out there's no big conspiracy after all. But then again, this is Riverdale, right? So we're probably gonna find out that this guy is actually some homeless dude that was paid to act like Jughead's grandfather, and the real grandfather is working together with this other guy to pull the strings in the shadows or whatever. And turns out everything that's happened so far in the last 3 seasons of Riverdale is actually just the story of the final book in the series. Or maybe it's just time-traveling alien shapeshifters, whatever. Anyway, so Jughead signs the contract to become the next ghostwriter, and would you believe he gets it a little over his head.
Welcome to the Quill and Skull Society, Jones.
But anyway, so leaving that there, let's take a look over at Betty. So at Riverdale High School, there's this new counselor who's interviewing all the main characters for whatever reason. And when it's Betty's turn, she gives us this oddly self-aware summary of what Riverdale has become.
Do you hide things from your mother?
I mean, I learned from the best.
So you feel she keeps secrets from you too?
Only when it's in her best interest.
Oh, so you joining a cult, not mentioning to me that you weren't actually brainwashed the whole time. You were just with the FBI working with my long-lost half-brother who I thought was dead.
Huh. Well, Betty, it almost kind of sounds like nothing makes any gosh darn sense in this show. And also, yet again, Betty's mom does that thing where, she gets bipolar amnesia or whatever. Her personality just completely changes, and she somehow just forgets everything that happened 3 months ago.
You're a child. I was protecting you.
You are so hypocritical.
She doesn't know what's good for her.
I was fine taking care of myself when you abandoned me for the farm. Yet you keep treating me like a child.
Oh, so that's a crime now. A mother wanting to protect her child.
Okay, so like, I get what you're saying, Alice, I really do. But like, right at the beginning of this season, you and Betty were like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, taking down Edgar Evernever and his rocket ship, doing undercover FBI stuff. So like, what are you talking about? She's just a child. And this whole conversation starts because of this.
How could my Betty get rejected from college? What has her so unfocused that it cost her her future? So I searched your bedroom.
You did what?
And do you know what I found hidden in the false bottom of your nightstand?
Yeah, we know, Alice. We've all known for years now. We've been over this like 4 times already. How is she still constantly surprised by this? I swear, every season she gets like a lobotomy or something and just forgets everything except how to be incredibly annoying. But anyway, so later on, after all this, Betty gets hypnotized by Charles so she can go mentally back in time and stop her younger self from turning into Shadow Betty in the present day. Believe me, I wish I was making this up, but no, this is a real thing that really happened in a real show that just got renewed for a 5th season, by the way. So, So, pro tip, if you want to be a writer on a TV show, but you're worried that maybe you don't have any good ideas, doesn't matter. But that being said, I mean, if you thought that was weird, let me just tell you about Veronica. So, as you may recall, Veronica's currently dealing with her new secret half-sister who more or less has completely taken over the family, and on top of that, her parents have gotten back together after they were both released from prison because, heaven forbid anything new happens in this show.
What happened at dinner at the club? Oh, well, the club was closed because of the storm, so we decided to order in.
Plus, I have to take an earlier flight back to Miami. But I couldn't bear to miss my first Thanksgiving all together. Hermanita.
Now, eventually, like everyone else, Veronica ends up talking to the new school counselor, and we all find out a little something that we never wanted to know.
I despise that man. I want nothing to do with him.
But you willingly live at home.
Well, yes, but...
You obediently come when he calls you. Veronica, I don't think this is hate. It's obsession.
I don't think I like where this conversation's going. Your
connection goes far beyond that of a typical father-daughter. It's primal.
No. Please stop.
You're driven by compulsive forces like sexuality.
Okay, so let's just move on from that. And why don't we see what Cheryl's getting up to?
Mumsy.
Yeah, okay. And finally, we have Archie. So because Archie is now Batman, trying to fight back against that Dodger guy or whatever, he's worried that he might be putting his mom in danger, so he moves out of his house and into that YMCA gym thing that he runs. Now after this, there's a lot of back and forth between Archie and Dodger, one thing leads to another, and they end up in one final standoff.
You don't get to hurt my kids. Shoot someone in front of me and leave without any payback.
But if it's a fight you're after, let's have ourselves a good old-fashioned brawl.
And then, of course, Archie just gives him the old wham-bam, bibbidi-bow, you know what I'm saying? And problem solved, kind of, sort of, I guess. But then, at the very end of the mid-season finale, just out of nowhere, for no reason, you'll never guess what happens.
Yeah? Can I help you? Archie? Archie Andrews? I am? It's good to see you, son. My name's Frank. I'm your dad's brother.
I swear, by the end of this season, the whole town's just gonna be like everyone's secret relatives and half-siblings or whatever, and then Pop Tate just over here by himself. Now, the second half of Season 4 starts tomorrow as of this video coming out, so hopefully, we'll get to find out what's going on with Jughead and his nerd club, Archie and his secret uncle, Cheryl doing, I don't know, who cares, Betty and her time travel, and maybe Veronica will stop saying daddy every 5 seconds. But hey, who knows anymore? I think I mentioned this before in a previous video, but as Riverdale Season 4 continues to kind of move on and we see what's happening with all the characters, it really does feel like nothing's really happening. I mean, usually, or at least in the first 3 seasons, every character has their own sort of like side story, like subplot thing, but usually everyone's kind of working towards something, whether it's, Cheryl's brother, or the Black Hood, or the farm, Jingle Jangle, Fizzle Rocks, whatever. Like, usually there's something that ties it all together, but this season, it really is just every character just kind of sort of has their own stories or whatever that don't really intertwine or mix, at least not yet. Maybe in the future they will, but at least for now, everyone's just kind of doing their own thing and like nothing seems important. Now, of course, if you're watching the show, you'll notice that they keep doing these like flash forwards where in spring of 2020, so I guess this year, just a couple months. You know, apparently Jughead is dead, and it looks like, or it was set up to look like, Archie, Betty, and Veronica are the ones who did it. It seems like it's in the middle of something, and there's something going to happen in the future that we kind of already know about, but we're sort of in the middle of it, and we don't really know how they got there. You know, in a way, they're kind of baiting us along with this little carrot on a stick type of thing, be like, one day, eventually, this might make sense, guys, but like, we're pretty much halfway through the season, and so far, nothing compelling is happening in this season. It's just characters like having random adventures that have nothing to do with anything, you know? So it's like, all right, I guess we'll just keep watching. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Follow Without Charlie on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know what was the favorite part of the video, or just say hi, or give me ideas for videos you want to see. And above all else, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.